let's dive into the workshop again. So wonderful. We're so happy that it's working. And as I was saying before that little glitch, this workshop is all about learning how to capture snow in watercolor. And with us today, we have a real master at this. It's Michał Jasiewicz. Jasiewicz. My pronunciation is, I'm working on it. And this is what we are going to do today. We will learn how to effectively use light and shadow to create depth and realism, but not too much realism, but some realism in winter landscapes. We will also later on introduce our brand new course, highly awaited course that our students have asked for. And of course, it's by Michał himself. We will also explore how to transform a simple watercolor painting into a vivid and emotional artwork, following along what Michał teaches us. And at the very end, you get to ask your questions and we will answer them. And yeah, we will see what comes up. So that's a time slot that if we have some time, we will get to answer some of your questions. The workshop will last for about 2 hours and we will be painting most of the time, so that I hope that you are ready. And Michał has already prepared the sketch. So if you don't have a sketch prepared, then maybe you want to do that now if you have the reference, or be very gentle and okay with not being able to complete this. You will get a recording and have that available for 48 hours. So you get to see it again. And please be active in the chat. And I'm so happy to see that people are joining and people are saying hello and that everything is okay. So that's beautiful. So let us introduce Michał Jasiewicz. Michał is both a professional architect and a passionate, also professional watercolor artist. And he is invited to run painting workshops and live watercolor painting sessions, both in Poland, all over Europe, also in the US. So all over the place, he's just touring the world with his watercolor workshops. And many of his artworks are located in European, Chinese, and American collections, and they are just beautiful. If you ever get a chance to check out his Instagram, please do. It's just stunning artwork after artwork after artwork. He is known for his semi-realistic and also poetic vision of the world, inspired by natural and urban landscapes. He draws inspiration from both historical and contemporary artists, and he has that wonderful style that is in between this suggestive style and also realism. So here are some of your work, some of your beautiful works, Michał. Is there anything you'd like to share about your art or your journey as an artist?
Oh God, it's a question. Please let me concentrate on our today's subject.
Yes,
and,
of course.
in winter and in snow. This is the right part of the year to consider it, and probably most of you know that the winter is the part of the year which is most attract to me. Not only because I like snow and frost within the physical aspects. I love purity and the whiteness of the fresh snow-covered fields and roofs and forests. I love skiing through them. Well, I admire the dark blue sky in the frosty night, being somewhere at the wilderness. And I really regret that I have less and less occasion to this. But I love winter also because I found it as a great motive for watercolor. The light is what I seek and try to emphasize in my paintings. And snow, with its purest white, is the great area for experiments on the field of light. Light has many colors, dependent on the time of day, the weather. And the light is always the main story and the main mood provider in my paintings. So this is it. I think this is the most obvious reason that I like paint winter scenes. And for today, I have prepared a very nice example of landscape like this that combines some rural architecture and some natural, beautiful environment.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. We'll just take a couple of seconds to look at some other artworks, and we can really see that light plays a huge part in sharing the story in all of your artworks. There's like the story of light in all of these, both in the snow ones and also in the sunlit ones. And when you talk, I can really feel that you capture your love for that scene and that environment, and that you translate it in the language that you love, which is watercolor. So it's beautiful. So here we have a question for those of you who are participating today. What are some challenges or difficulties that you encounter when you try to capture a winter scene? You can write your own answer, or you can put A, B, C. We have some suggestions here. It could be that A, it's hard to paint white on white and know how to manage to capture the white of the snow. B, it can be hard to know how to use light and shadow on snow, which is white, without it becoming muddy or gray, or know what to do with that, how to approach it. Or C, balancing the fine details and textures in a winter scene without it becoming overwhelming, instead of that clear and crisp and beautiful freshness that we are looking for. So please write into the chat and I will soon answer your question. And check that. Okay, it's just pouring in. So I'm gonna just take a quick look here. Balancing the fine details and textures. There are a lot of C's, a lot of B's, B and C. Malini says A, B, and C. We have a lot of B's and C's and a few A's. Painting the light and shadow. So lots of that, finding that balance, finding that freshness. So there are lots of C's in the chat. Thank you so much for sharing.
We can discuss that point in very short words.
Yes.
Can you please bring to me back these questions, these ABC questions?
Oh yes, of course. Sorry, I thought, yeah, of course. Let's talk about it.
Maybe just a few words about it. Painting white on white. Of course, the main rules in watercolor is that we are not using white color, white pigment, and we are using the whiteness of the paper. So if we really need some white, just need to reserve it at the very beginning and to not cover it with the pigment. So this is the main rule in watercolor. How about B? Can't effectively use light and shadow on snow. I think the painting on the snow and the shadows on it is a great exercise in the matter of painting of shadow. And I don't think it's really more difficult than painting the shadow on any other surfaces. I'm going to show you how to do it quite effective and quick. And the C, balancing the fine details and textures in a winter scene without overwhelming. Once again, I think it's not only about the winter scene, it's about the paintings in general. I think we need to consider the entire painting as the one composition, and we need to start with emphasize the biggest elements of the composition first, and the details are secondary. And sometimes the best idea is to do something quick and bold, and this is it. Not to think too much about not trying to emphasize every single detail in the scene. Our reference photo is just a pretext to accomplish a painting, please not feel too obliged to paint every single branch or every single details of the architecture. It's not about it.
Thank you so much. That's a great introduction to painting snow with watercolor. We will soon dive into painting. We just take a quick look at who this workshop is for. It's for those who want to learn how to effectively use light and shadow to capture depth and realism, however much of it that we want, and also how people who want to gain insights into how to achieve a balance between realistic representation and capturing the mood of a scene and not going that much into realism. And also for people who want to explore how to transform a simple watercolor painting into a vivid and emotional artwork. Michał is a person who, as we've already said, is a very appreciated workshop and watercolor teacher, and his workshops are a premium experience starting at $700. So we are so thrilled that he is here with us for this no-cost workshop that we're having today. So make sure to just be really present and absorb all of his teachings during this time that we have together. And now it's time to paint, Michał. So I'm going to hand it over to you, and I will be here in the background, but without microphone and video on. So if ever you need something, I am here.
Okay, and if there would be any questions during the painting process, it's okay for me to answer them.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so once again, a few words about our today subject. It's a very classic composition. We have some beautiful snowy covered areas here, the sharp line of the roof, the soft shapes of the snow in the foreground, and the sharp vertical lines of leafless trees. This is into the light paintings. The light is somewhere here from the left, in something from the left, and a bit of into our face. This is my most preferred style of capturing the landscapes to the light. In paintings like this, the sky is usually lighter and brighter than other elements in the scene, except the foreground, where we have very bright areas of the snow field. At the beginning, we need to consider which part should be the brighter. And quite obvious that foreground area and some middle grounds part. As usual, I'm going to start with the sky. It probably should be quite bright and without too many details, just one smooth wash of very bright blue. And my next move would be probably the line of the trees in the background and the darker roof. Okay, so this is the plan. Let's start with the sky. My paper is Fabriano Artistico, Grana Fina. It's not hot pressed, it's a cold pressed paper. It has some grain. I'm preparing a wash of some lavender and some cerulean. But always fine, but the colors are secondary. The first and the most important things is the right value of them. So if you have not such a color in your palette as are in mine, don't worry, just mix some blue cobalt or whatever. And a lot of water, and here we go. Horizontal strokes. Like this. I'm cutting around the roof. But don't really care about the line of trees. They are very dark and I can perfectly paint them on the top of this initial wash. As you can see, this wash is slightly brighter than the sky in my reference. This is my conscious choice. I want to give it more into the light look. I'm working with big Chinese brush. It's a natural brush, but you can use any other. For example, a flat brush would be also very good for this kind of big washes. Okay, and now when it's still wet, I will try to show some dark trees in the background. And so this is a very warm dark color. It's not just green, it's rather a mix of grays and browns. I'm going to use some burnt sienna with some any kind of blue, maybe cobalt blue. Okay. Some golden ochre. Give it some sunny look.
We have a question if you prepared
Okay.
the paper, if you pre-wetted it or something before,
No,
before painting the sky.
no. It's I have started with completely dry paper.
Thank you. People are also curious about what kinds of brush you are using.
But now I'm working with Chinese calligraphy brushes. This is a kind of round natural brush. They work very good for me, but once again, you can accomplish it with any kind of good natural brush. I know that sometimes it's quite difficult to buy them through the internet, but I think that in last 2 years the accessibility of them is quite good. Many European shops start to offer them through the internet. So yes, it's possible to get them. For some deepest darks, I am using a mixture of Payne's gray and Perlane green. And I always try to add some extra color to them. It's not just a pure Payne's gray, but always a mix with some other color. As you can see, I let the color blend on the paper. And at this stage, I'm not really care about the details. I'm not consider how really this tree, for example, looks. It's more about one big shape here. What I'm looking for is the right tonal value.
Could you share anything about the color mixing? Because people are curious about what colors you're using, and they're also saying that they love the variety of your trees. Is there anything you could share about your the colors that you choose?
Basically, this is the mix of 4 colors here. Burnt sienna, cobalt blue, Payne's gray, and some golden ochre. And I think this is a good set to get some impression of winter forest, where the greens are not so obvious, where we have much more brown tones and warm darks. But once again, it's not about the right colors. It's about the right values and the right color temperature. I'm going to scratch it a bit, but now it's too early. I need to let it to dry a bit first. And now I can move to the roof area. I'm going to use blues once again, and I think some light cobalt blue and some lavender. Quite similar mixture to the sky, but 2 tone darker. can work for me here. Just one big smooth surface of snow-covered roof. I'm going to let it dry. Looks good. Now I can add some texture to my trees area. Remember that every paper, every kind of paper would work in different way. You need to find the right timing for your paper when this kind of uh, um, when this kind of activity will give you the best effects. Okay.
Someone is asking if you were spraying with regular water.
Yes, this is absolutely regular water, believe me. Nothing addition. The clue is to do it in the right time, when the surface is almost dry, but not too wet and not too dry. Almost dry, but not so. And the same about scratching it. It works best on almost dry surface. If the paper would be too wet, you can stay with dark lines instead of bright. Like here, for example. It's not possible to scratch it right now because this area is too wet. But this one is perfect. Okay. Let's continue with our barn. I think it's the barn. I need more precise tool. It's a round brush with a very good point. Remember to get something like this in your pocket. Very important to have a brush with good point. The wall of the building is very dark. is the mixture of burnt sienna and perlane green, but you can mix it with burnt sienna and ultramarine, for example. There are some beautiful shapes of snow in the foreground of this barn, so I'm careful cutting around them.
I can see that the roof was almost dry, like it's dry on the right side, but to the very left, there is a little bit of mixing going on between the blue roof and the dark part. Is that something that you knew, or did you take a
In
chance?
this area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there and also to the left.
well, it's not a big deal. It's
Yeah.
okay for it. This kind of like spontaneous effects can give us a sense of lightness and freshness and
I
so on.
agree. I was curious if it was a plan or if it was like, if it happens, it happens.
This is that kind of lucky accidents that watercolor provide us on every step, and it's good to understand them and like them. And we are almost ready with the upper part of our paintings for now. Time to move in the middle ground and in the foreground. Once again, we need to be very careful here to protect the sun of the snow, the very bright area on the snow, and the same here, of course. This kind of river bank, quite steppy, and basically is in the shadow because the sun is somewhere there, and this area is in the shadow. But first, it's snow, and the second, this area got a lot of light mirrored from the opposite side. There's a lot of diffused light in the air, and that's why I need to find a good mixture for this area. First, to provide nice contrast with this area here, but I need to be very careful not to make it too strong and too dark, because there's still a lot of light here. Mirror it from this area. So I think I can mix the right color with some lilac and some lavender. And I'm going to let the colors blend on the paper rather than to prepare the perfect mixture, because I want to get some nice variety in tones and colors here. I'm using also some Jean Brilliant from Colbane.
Are you only using Holbein, or do you have a mixture of different brands?
No, there's a lot of different brands, but those colors here, Jean Brilliant #1, #2, lilac, and lavender, are from Colbane. The time I'm working wet into the wet. It means I'm letting the colors, I'm letting the separate washes to blend each other on the paper.
And here we can also see that there are droplets created down, which makes me realize that there is some inclination to your board. How much of an inclination is it?
Uh,
A
I
couple of
think it's
centimeters?
about 10 degrees, maybe 10 centimeters
Yeah,
in the upper part.
thank you.
Also, again, I'm going to leave here some white spots. The water is darker, so I can perfectly paint it later on the top of the snow. I'm going to spray a bit this area because everything here, the shapes of the snow are very soft, and I'm going to emphasize it. Remember, this part here is the brightest part here. This one is slightly darker, still very bright, but not as pure white. And here, so I'm going to add a very gentle wash of rather warm tones. Okay. It's still very bright area, but not as white as this.
We have a question from Effe. He writes, I have a question, or they write, I don't know if it's a he or she actually, because we don't have that name in my country. It seems that the artists do the artwork in one layer without using a middle connected wash as a second wash. Do you plan to add a second wash after this layer?
It depends from the area. Mostly, this painting will be one layer painting, except some details, some verticals of trees that I'm going to add later on the top of it. But at last, at this stage, I consider that this is okay. This is okay. So I'm not going to add another extra layer on the top of this. But sometimes I used to put many layers in my paintings. Everything depends on the motif. But this one probably will be mostly one layer painting, except of some details. now the stream. Once again, a mix of burnt sienna and some dark blues.
So now, Michał, just for information, see if you can plan so that you save something for the second practice part and do whatever you need to do. And when you have covered everything that you need to cover so that it can dry, then we will move on. So that is the plan, just so that you are
Okay.
on the same page.
Yes. Please give me another 2 minutes, and I
Perfect.
will be ready for a short break. Okay.
Wonderful.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay. We can take a short break now.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much, Michał. That was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful artwork. So we had a lot of questions that were asked about the specific colors, but I think that there is information about that when you registered. I believe that there is information about the palette. Do you know if that's correct, Michał? Did you send over?
I think so.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't ask all of those questions.
But once again, please remember that much more important than perfect color matching is using the right values and the right contrast between separate elements. I can do it more pinkish or more bluish in tone, but when the values will be okay, you will be okay.
Wonderful. So true. I'm excited to see what you can add to that in our second practice part, which will come in a few minutes. So now if you are painting along, then you get some time to finish your work, and we're gonna let Michał's work dry, and we will continue in a few minutes. So what else can we paint under Michał's guidance? We have this course that we have created with 3 cityscapes that harmonize and is this balance between realism and atmosphere, blending history and contemporary elements with the beauty of watercolor. Your artistic mastery begins here. So we're gonna take a look at that as we let the work dry. So this course is called City in Watercolor, Atmosphere and Detail, because it's about capturing both the atmosphere and adding enough detail for us to really feel like we're there. Discover the art of merging detail and impressionism with Michał Jasiewicz. So the first scene is all about creating a cityscape in the night, so a nocturne city. We can see that there are a lot of beautiful blues that really vibrates and feels like this beautiful night sky. And then we have all of these lights that are created due to adding lots of contrasts. Is there anything that you want to add and tell about this nocturne city painting, Michał?
Yes, this is a very quick and bold approach to the nocturnal city landscape. This is Budapest, the capital of Hungary. This is almost this almost pure abstract. Only the silhouette of the architecture is quite detailed and well defined, but the rest is a pure play of light and the shadow, and some very spontaneous decision, and the right using of many lucky accidents here. And I think it's a good example how to transfer some shapes that would appear during your painting process into specific shapes later. I think that the greatest value of these paintings is its spontaneous character and the expression of light, because all of my paintings in this course are about the light and about the expression of the light. So this is it.
It is so impressive. We can see here that this scene is painted in 1 hour and 10 minutes, and it's so much. You really know what you're doing. It's so impressive.
The most important thing here is not to fail into details. Mm-hmm. We need to put some effort to describe the silhouette of the town, of this cathedral. But the rest is almost pure abstraction.
There's so much abstraction, and then there is definitely enough detail and enough that you put the right things in the right place for us to really feel like it's there. The atmosphere is certainly there. So this is for people who want to learn techniques for creating nocturne paintings and focusing on impressionistic styles, so more abstract and quick painting styles. Gain skills in handling different tonal values and color temperatures to recreate night scenes effectively, and learn how to integrating dynamic elements like street traffic into paintings to add realism and feel like, oh, this is happening among human beings, and to balance the composition by including modern elements without overpowering the historical essence, because we have this historical, beautiful building that is still the main character. And then we have these extra characters such as the people and the car and the lights, and also the overall beautiful atmosphere of this scene. Such a beautiful, beautiful painting. And we're going to dive and see what else there is to learn in this course. Scene 2, Budapest Palace. This is much lighter. This is very light and almost like ethereal.
As the position for the first one, it's full warm light of afternoon sun, some very beautiful Baroque architecture surrounded with beautiful greenery. An autumn day, beautiful expression of direct sun of the walls of historical building. This one is much more detailed when talking about the architecture, but the rest, the surrounding, the trees, the foreground is once again more abstract and kind of frame to better emphasize the center of the frame and the architecture itself. I think it's a very good exercise in terms of the color of the light and different colors in the shadows, because some shadows here are warm, some shadows here are cool and dark, and the clue is to find the right balance between them.
And a thing for the curious watercolor enthusiasts, we see here that in contrast to the one that you just painted with us and for us, here you start with a thinner layer that kind of ties everything together, and then you add the stronger, darker details. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. It's much more complicated scene that our today painting. So yes.
And you build it up.
You need to know that all those paintings are quite complex and challenging motifs, and I choose them as the part of my real artistic practice. And all those paintings were later part of my different exhibitions, and these are not just simple academic exercises. They are part of my serious everyday job. So yes, they are quite challenging, they are quite complex, but I think that it's a great opportunity to you to look inside my artistic practice.
The mind of an architect / watercolor artist. We get to take a sneak peek behind the scenes.
Yes, you can.
Yes. And I am so curious what the reference photo looks like, because this, you have transformed it. This looks like, you know, the memory, like the dream, like the beautiful image that comes when you think of it in your heart. But I know that the photo, of course, doesn't look that way. And that beautiful transformation from that reference all the way to this beautiful piece is something that you get to see if you join us in this course. So you will learn about watercolor techniques, compositional nuances, the balance between light and shadow, and also warm and cool. Acquire skills in color and shade manipulation to create depth and three-dimensionality in your paintings. Gain practical skills in depicting architectural details, which is really difficult if you're not used to that, but probably very easy if you're an architect. And natural, as well as natural elements, employing various methods such as dry brushing, color mixing, and texture creation. So this covers a lot of different things, and we get to take part in the creation of this beautiful image. With a limited watercolor palette as well, as we can also see that it harmonizes very well. All of the painting has that same harmonious message in the color choices. And then we move back to your favorite season. The third scene is a snowy evening, but it's later during the day apparently compared to the one that we're painting today.
Yes, I think this is the most complicated and the most challenging of all those three paintings. It's a beautiful winter evening in my town. We have many different light sources here, many different temperatures of light. The background with the silhouette of the town and the foreground are quite detailed. So yes, it's a challenge, but I love it. I really like this kind of imaginary.
I have a question as a watercolor curious person. Have you used any masking fluids, or do you paint around all of these winter lights?
As far I remember, I'm cutting around the lights here, and I'm not use masking fluids here, but I'm not 100% now.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
the recording was quite time ago. But
you do
I'm
both ways.
pretty
Sometimes
sure
you
that
use
it's possible to paint like this without masking fluid.
and it's also possible to use masking fluid if you prefer that. So
Yes, of
perhaps you
course,
can
it's
choose.
up to your personal preferences. But more I think about this, I'm more sure that most part of the painting is without any kind of masking.
So what you will learn in this lesson is about how to approach a detailed and atmospheric nocturne painting, how to create the illusion of illumination, so these beautiful lights, working with wet and dry brushes for various textures and incorporating elements like snow-covered roofs and lantern-lit walls, as we can see. And we learn how to balance detailed areas with softer, more abstract sections, and to sculpt shades and shadows to create a three-dimensional effect. And the result is that you will gain insight into creating dynamic winter scenes with contrasting lights and shadows, and also having this harmonious color choices between the warm lights and the cool, beautiful sky and snows and shadows. And this is also some details about like, hey, human beings are living here, and then the architecture in the background, and also you really capture the atmosphere even more than you capture the details in this beautiful balance. So thank you for sharing about these three scenes. The result of this course is that you get to see how to create a balanced composition that integrate urban and landscape, architecture and nature. Learn how to convey the mood and atmosphere of a place, whether it's a peaceful winter night or a bustling evening city. And how to understand how to use specific watercolor techniques that Michał uses to create his specific style to portray the dynamics of the city streets and architecture. Train to combine detailed elements with abstract areas to add depth and interest to paintings. And of course, you will enhance your skills in choosing and mixing colors, because that's part of creating these beautiful watercolor paintings to achieve the desired atmosphere and mood and that sense that we get when we see these paintings. And learn how to use different brushes and different watercolor techniques like dry brushing and scraping, and when to blend wet on wet, and when to leave hard edges, when to soften edges, and all of these beautiful things that we can do with watercolor. Stay with us. In a few minutes, we will continue painting with Michał. Oh, they're so beautiful. Before that, we're just gonna share the information about how you can join us in this course. So right now, when we are launching this course, it is a discount. So instead of $139 for the premium plan, it's only $99. And instead of $119 for the standard plan, it's $89. So all in all, as you have seen, there are these three beautiful scenes, these watercolor cityscapes, a total of 5 lessons, 5 hours and 15 minutes all in all. And if you join us, you will get 24/7 access from any location whenever you want to. And this is a lifetime access course. So you will get it for life if you join us. There are a couple of bonuses that are only there for you if you join us within the next 48 hours. And the first one is that you will get a step-by-step PDF guide called Watercolor Wonders, Capturing Cities and Seasons. So you get to learn even more about these things. And then you will also get lifetime access to the workshop recording of this workshop that we're having right now. So maybe you're watching this again. Meta. So the button to join us is below the screen. So you simply scroll down and then you will see in the join the course button. And then you choose the plan that you want. And I'm going to tell you about the difference between these two plans. It's very, very straightforward. If you choose a standard plan, you will get all of the course content and you will get access to this course platform where you upload your finished works, but you will not get any feedback on your finished works. You will still be part of the moderated student WhatsApp chat if you want to take part of this encouraging, supportive community. However, you will not get a certificate of completion when you have completed the course, and you will not get individual feedback. In the premium plan, you will get individual feedback from a professional watercolor artist / professional curator within the 90 days from your starting day. So on your finished pieces, you will get individualized written feedback on your works. So if you're someone who wants that added accountability the first 3 months after you join, then adding those extra $10 is a sure perfect option for you. You will also get some Arty coins, and Arty coins is a virtual currency that you can use to purchase special courses and lessons on Arty store, which is Artefacto's, one of Artefacto's online stores. So that's all of the information that you need, and now it's time to move back to painting. So I am really curious to see what else we we can do with this. So I'm going to hand it over to you now, Michał.
Thank you, Maria. The main job is done. So now we can tweak more shadows. We can add some shape of the trees and so on. And I'm going to start with better definition of the path.
Before we start, Michał, we have a question that people have been curious about, and it is that you choose in this scene to let it be hard edges. Is there a reason for allowing these edges to be very hard in this particular painting in the snow?
Which area we are
in the left
about?
part of the painting, in the snow area, there's a lot of hard edges.
Under the barn.
I think the question is that there's a lot of soft edges in the background, but in the foreground, it's only hard edges, at least on the left side.
Because of a very spontaneous character of this work, and it's more like sketch that serious work, and because it's a combination of different reasons. First, because it's quite sketchy. The second, because painting a snow, it's very important to do it quick and spontaneous. And I can always stop in some part with quite strong synthetic brush later, like this. But this is quite time-consuming process. And
we can do that afterwards.
I'm going to reserve it for the very end. But as you can see, it's perfectly possible. But it's not really important to do it at the beginning.
Thank you so much.
Remember that if you are working on the good paper, there's not a big problem to lift up the pigments, for example, like this. And this is a part of my work. In the first stage, much more important for me is to define a big shapes and do it quick and in a very spontaneous manner. Things like this are important, sometimes necessary, but I can perfectly reserve sometimes at the end.
Now, Efe writes that the question was about choosing hard edges where the roof top meets the sky and some of the trees meet the sky.
Probably you talk about this area, this sharp white line. It's very, I think it's a very important element because in this painting I want to emphasize that the light is somewhere here, and the roof basically is in the shadow, but the upper part of it is quite soft, a bit rounded with the snow, and it gets some light falling from the opposite side. So that's why I have decided to leave this bright stripe of paper.
Okay, let's dive in and paint now when we have gotten those
Okay,
answers.
I'm going to add some more shadows, some deeper shadows, some part.
People are curious about what colors you are using to mix the current shades.
This is mainly Tyrolean blue and some kind of other colors I have in my palette right now. Some warm tones to make it not so intense blue, but much more dark. And the very important elements of every winter scene, the shadows of the snow. We can perfectly show the profile of the terrain with them. I'm going to paint the trees next move, but I'm starting with the shadows of them. Okay, we have shadows, so let's plant some trees now. a very good brush to this kind of strokes. It's a rigger brush. Now I'm using Jean Brilliant. Jean Brilliant is an opaque color, so I can add some marks and some strokes in this dark area. There are different approach. Things like this. Some people prefer to use a masking fluid, but for me, I think that with any kind of opaque color, we can achieve a better results, more spontaneous, more clean, more bold in character strokes than using a masking fluid.
Do you mix yellow ochre with some other color that has a bit of white in it?
Mainly Jean Brilliant, the color
Yeah.
called Jean Brilliant from Holbein. It's quite opaque, and it let me work on the dark background.
And if you don't have that, then you can mix white
You can
with
mix
with some other color.
your own Jean Brilliant using titanium white
Yes.
and a drop of any warm color, golden ochre or cadmium yellow deep or whatever.
Perfect. Thank you.
And when you are going to paint with, to work with rigger brush, it's quite important to grab it at the end, because you can achieve some very nice brushwork, very bold strokes. It's much better than it like this. This is the way.
People are curious if there was a specific reason why you chose to paint the shadows of the trees before painting the trees themselves.
Not really.
You just went with the flow, went with what color was on the brush.
It's very spontaneous and well.
And you already have the snow mix, the shadow color on your palette. So maybe that was also helpful.
Probably. And the same color on my brush, actually. So quite economical choose. Some dry brush strokes. It's a very effective technique. We'll need to paint leafless trees.
By the way, people have been written in the chat. They're writing, looks amazing, love your brush strokes,
Thank you very much.
beautiful, delicate trees,
very
amazing
much.
work. Thank you, congratulations. A very beautiful thank you, Michal.
Thank you
Just so
very
you
much.
know,
Really appreciate it.
this is absolutely gorgeous, genius. It's so beautiful.
Thanks again. Okay, and I think it's a good time to make another break. But in general, I consider it's almost ready. Natural part of my practice is to live in paintings, this stage, when I consider it's almost ready for a day or two, and later, after such a time, decide if it needs some more attention in some parts or maybe not. Maybe I'm going to add something or to remove something, but it's good to let your eye rest and decide later if it needs something more or not. So for now, for today, thank you very much.
That's perfect.
Being with you.
Because we will take a break now, and we also have some questions, and we will answer your questions in the end. I have saved some on my phone, and if I don't ask your question, you can just pop it into the chat during the Q&A session. So pause, keep them on top of your mind, or write a note, and then when it's time for the Q&A session, you can make sure to post them then, so that we make sure to ask them when we have the mind space and the specific time for that. So now, if you are painting, you can go ahead and continue finishing your part. And I will ask everyone in the chat what your takeaways have been during this session with Michał. Are there any influences that you want to take with you? Are there any techniques that you want to try? Is there anything that was an aha moment, or something that you will take away and that you want to explore further? People are writing, thank you, Michał, magic. Lovely, says Maureen. Stoyanka says, thank you, Michał and Hannah. Fantastic experience, thank you. So many thank yous. I found the scratching technique interesting. Lovely work. This has been so interesting, so talented. Takeaways: use several shades of blue. Wonderful. So keep sharing if there are any takeaways that you want to share. And while you do, we will see the final painting again later on.
Let's add some extra contrasts to bring the attention to some particular places in the frame.
Michał, we can actually have a pause so you can just observe and see if there's anything you want to add. And then before we take the Q&A part, or during the Q&A part, you can continue painting some extra contrast if you want to. Does that sound like a good plan?
Yes,
because
okay.
we have some minutes now, and then we will return to you and you can paint, and we
no, actually, nothing really revolutionary here.
Yeah, but they won't see you if you paint now, so you can wait a little bit.
Okay. Okay. I'm thinking right now.
You can just observe.
And this is it. This is it for today.
So let us take a quick look at the course again, because there are some people who are new and who are asking about the course in the chat. So this is, Deb is asking, is this a specific time, or is this whenever you want to? And this is whenever you want to kind of course. So basically you get the course with these beautiful 3 scenes, and then you get lifetime access to that, and you will have access to these lessons whenever you want, from whatever device you want, as long as you have internet connection. So let's just dive back for everyone who's new, and for all of those who wants to just take a quick look again and think about, would that be nice to paint? So the first scene is a nocturne, where we paint this beautiful night scene, and it's almost impressionistic. And Michał shared with us that this is a very fast and intuitive process, and we get to see how he just builds this up in a very short amount of time, and just adds these, he said that there were a lot of happy accidents that took part in creating this specific painting. So you learn techniques about creating these shining lights using different techniques, including adding lots of contrasts, handling different tonal values and color temperatures. So these warm lights in the cool sky and the purple, grayish shadows and all of these beautiful colors, integrating dynamic elements like street traffic and also having that beautiful historical aspect as well. So modern and historical in the same painting. So this is where we just get to see Michał just doing his thing and explaining and sharing and teaching us. The second scene is a completely different atmosphere, a completely different time of the day, because this is an afternoon, a beautiful warm day. And he uses a limited watercolor palette so that you learn how to really create an harmonious watercolor painting where everything ties together with this warm, beautiful yellow and these warmer blues and also greens that match everything else. And building this up in first one thin layer and then adding the details, but not too many details, but enough for us to feel like we're really creating that sense of presence and that magic that we can see here. And then we have Michał's favorite kind of painting, which is a snowscape, a snowy city scene. And here we will learn how to really make those lights shine in this beautiful snowy city scene. Also here, there are some natural elements in all of these three, and there are also these city elements in all of these three. And if you're new here, then I can share with you that Michał is also an architect. So he's both a professional architect and a professional watercolor painter. And we really take advantage of that. And these motives are something that we have asked our students what they are looking for, and they're looking for a course with Michał on cityscapes. So we have created that for you, all of those of you who feel like this is what you want to learn. So this is the kind of course that you get access to, and then you can just watch it whenever you want from whatever device you want. And if you choose the premium plan, you can upload your artworks onto the platform, so the finished pieces, and then you will get written feedback from one of our professional curators, who is also a professional watercolor artist. So that's a perfect opportunity if you want to feel accountable and also get those insights that's hard to get on your own. So the curators are artists who have formal education in Fine Art Academy with years of experience in art, in both painting and also teaching. And they are super supportive and they're super encouraging, and they will never leave you behind. We also have the community aspect. So if you are a person who just want to feel part of a community with like-minded people, then we have this WhatsApp chat, which is full of encouragement and sharing and inspiring one another and keeping each other motivated and accountable. And very many people have found close friends in this community. And here are the plans. So the premium plan is all of the courseworks plus also a certificate of completion, as well as individual feedback from the professional curator and 40 Artie coins. And if you choose the standard plan, you will get the same things, but not the individual feedback and not the certificate of completion. So it depends on if you want feedback or not. Both of these have 2 bonuses if you join us now within the next 48 hours. The first is a step-by-step guide, and the second is the workshop recording. The button, if you want to join, is below the screen. So you need to scroll down and then press the button, and then you can choose whatever plan you want. So the first bonus is an extra book, like a deep dive into, so if you prefer to read and learn by reading text, then this will be very helpful for you. Is there anything that you want to add? You can say no if you want to, Michał. Is there anything you want to add about this PDF?
No, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so this guide encompassing 3 distinct lessons provides you with the techniques to capture these scenes. So this is a resource if you want to deepen your skills and you like to learn by reading. And then the second bonus is that you can get lifetime access to this workshop recording. And if you choose to join us, then you simply click proceed to payment, and you can pay with all kinds of different choices, and your payment is secure It's a 100% secure kind of payment, so you can pay with card or Google Pay or PayPal. And then when you have done that, you will receive an email with all of the information that you need to get started in joining the course. And in the course, you will also get all of the information that you need about materials. So you can just purchase the course, and then you will get all of the information as you join us. We also give a guarantee because we know that you will be super satisfied, and we also want you to feel like you can trust that you will be satisfied and that there is no risk involved. So if within 1 week after purchase, after 1 or 2 lessons, you realize that this was not for you, this is not going to get you the results that you were aiming for, then just send us an email and you will get your money back. But we are sure that you will love it. So when does the course start? It starts as soon as you purchase it, you will get access, all of the information in your email. Which materials do I need for the course? This is something that maybe you can answer shortly, Michał, here. What materials do we need to be able to take this course?
Okay, well, I think there's a set of materials in description of the course.
Yes.
But maybe in short, good quality paper. I think the paper is the most important part as we're talking about technicals. I strongly recommend you to work with good quality cotton paper. It's maybe Fabriano Artistico, it's my paper. It's maybe Arch, it's maybe Sanders Waterford, or any pure cotton brand. So this is the most important part. And how about paints? It's up to you. They're not. I think most modern companies provide good quality artist's grade pigments. So it's not really important if you are working with Winsor and Newton or Sennelier or any kind of American brand like Core or like
professional grade watercolor paint.
Professional grade any companies will be fine. Brushes in general. I think a nice set of round brushes with a good point is the right starting point. You can use some flat brush as well. It's up to you if you like them. I think it's good to have some good flats on your desk. For example, remember that good brush doesn't mean an expensive brush. Most of my brushes are rather very cheap and basic. For example, this one. This is a synthetic brush. It's very cheap. It's €1 or €2 brush, but it has a perfect point and works excellent for me. So I really prefer to work with details with this kind of brush than with any kind of saber brush. So it's up to you, but I strongly recommend you to not buying the most expensive brush, at least for the beginning. As you realize, I use a lot of Chinese calligraphy brush. It's quite difficult to buy good quality because most of them can lose their hairs very easily, as you can see. But still, I like them for this kind of spontaneous broken edges. I think you can everything find in the descriptions of the course. But of course, if there are any specific questions, I'm for you all the time.
Yeah, wonderful. We have actually kind of just jumped into the Q&A session. So we have a little bit more than 10 minutes. So we'll see what we have time for, how many questions we can get through. And I also see that people are written in so many highlights. I like the trees, making them by scratching, and learn so much, how he chooses reference photo, handling pigments and values, the importance of tonal values, the mix of hard and soft edges. So many comments. So thank you so much for sharing that, every one of you. And now we will start answering questions, and we will see as how many we have time to answer. We have a question here. Okay. We have questions about the course. With lifetime access, I can do the course at any time and for any duration. Exactly, Malini. There is no end date at all. The only thing that has a time limit is the feedback from the curator. It's only within the first, it says 90 days. I hope that's true. Sometimes it's 75 days. But anyways, that has a time, an end date. You can, however, pause it, but then you need to send an email and talk to our team about that. But the course content, yes, you will have access to them whenever you want, for as long as you want. So I like the different colors of snow, writes Birgit. We have Hattis writes, do we have to soften all the hard edges of the snow on the left part? Of course not, is my response. It's up to you. There are some people who just love hard edges, and there are some people who just love soft edges, and then there are the people who love the mix. Is there anything you want to share about that, Michal?
Sorry, once again, can I?
You are just painting. I will just make myself small so that we can see your painting more instead of watching you and me. So let's move back to the painting. And is there anything that you are adding right now, Michal, while I was talking away?
I'm tweaking a bit the area of the trees. Probably it needs some more attention, some parts, and maybe add some more elements here. Maybe add some more colors, like some sparks of contrasts, pure orange or cobalt turquoise, to make it more vivid and more eye-catching.
Oh, nice.
Probably the area of the barn needs some more work.
Okay. I'm just gonna answer a question from Francis. So
Okay.
sorry for interrupting, but I don't want this question to go unanswered. There is info on the site when you're buying the course. It mentions that you can freeze the course. Freeze, what does that mean? So freezing means that you freeze, basically you are pausing so that the days of your feedback is not counted. So if you're like, oh, I don't have time to complete this in 3 months, could I please freeze it for 6 months? Then your starting date will instead be 6 months from now. And then you have the 75 or 90 days feedback time. So it's about freezing and pausing so that you can get the feedback later on. However, the course material will be lifetime access for everyone, both of the plans, both the standard plan and the premium plan. I hope that answered your question. Did he use masking fluid today? No, today you did not.
No, it's quite rare for me to use a masking fluid. Personally, I don't really like it. I know that there are some tasks that require it, but mostly I prefer to work with negative painting technique, cutting around the elements that I want to reserve. as the whites, and also I prefer to add some bright marks with opaque pigments. It provides me a more nice effects than masking fluid.
Okay.
But I understand that some people prefer to do it with masking fluid. It's perfectly okay. It's only something works for you. Play with it.
Yeah, I love that answer. Shella writes, at what point do you feel that you have drawn enough branches? Because sometimes the reference photo has much more. And yes, the references often have so many branches.
That's why I like to have a break. Sometimes maybe a day, it's maybe a week, it's maybe a year sometimes. But we need a time to let our eye rest, to look with the new eye for a painting, and it's much easier to us to decide if it's enough or not.
Oh, I have
There are not simple answer for this kind of question.
No, it's about feeling it. And now you've also added your signature to the right. Lower right.
Yes, yeah, that's a very important part of the work.
Is there any tip you can share about where you place your signature? Where there's room?
There are not simple answer, but you need to remember that the signature is a part of composition. So you need to choose the right place.
Do you
have
take
chosen
that
this
in
one because it
consideration?
was quite plain and without too many details. So I think it's a good place for signature. It's well balanced with the darker opposite side. So this is it.
And previously we received a question if you think about focal points when you paint. Like when you paint this, do you think about that there is a focal point?
I think about it when I choose the motif. Because I'm working almost exclusively with my own photos, because I consider choosing the motif, choosing the frame as the very important part of the work, maybe crucial part of the work. So pressing the shutter in my camera is the time when the main decisions are made. So taking photos, it's a great exercise in terms of composition, in terms of choosing the right elements, in terms of choosing the focal point, in terms of depth of field. And when we start to work with someone else's photos, we skip this very important part of the work. So choosing the right composition is, in my opinion, is a crucial thing, and you can accomplish it at the very beginning when you choose the frame of your painting.
And we have a question.
Quite important, right? This area here in the center of the frame, the combination of a fragment of architecture, the slope and the river, the perspective of the river, the perspective of the path leading our eye into one point somewhere here. So this area is our center of interest.
Thank you. We have a couple of more minutes, so if you have a question, we might have time for it, but we might also not have time for it. So if you ask a question, we will see if we have time to answer it. We had one question previously about if you have any tips on how to practice working with a calligraphy brush or a rigger brush to create those branches and knowing, like trusting the hand. We had a lot of people who were very impressed by how you could draw several lines and they all were following the previous lines. Do you have any tips on that?
Just playing with it.
Just do it.
You can try to do like this. Put several points on your paper and try to connect them with one quick stroke. It's a very basic. It's a very basic exercise for pre-drawing. Because, well, yes, we need to start with something different. A watercolor required a good trained hand.
Yeah.
So if you are a good drawer, you will be probably a good watercolorist. That's why so many architects become watercolorists, because the part of the educational process is a freehand drawing. So any exercise required freehand drawings is good for watercolor as a part of learning process. So draw a lot. You can draw with a pencil, you can draw line with the rigger, but do it all the time and you will be okay.
Thank you for that very pragmatic answer. And Martina writes, I am an architect too. So we have other architects in the chat. We had a question about the size of the paper that you have painted on. Do you know that?
It's half. It's a half sheet. It's about 54 centimeters on 55.
Isn't it? Oh, so it's 54, 35, 30 something. Okay, so half sheet, but a little bit shorter.
It's a half sheet, yes.
Yeah, perfect. So thank you so much for sharing all of the things that you have shared today, Michał. And thank you everyone who has participated today and being so active. And thank you everyone who supported each other with writing the things, the color choices, and just sharing about what paper and what colors, and just being supportive to one another. We're really grateful for those friendly support comments in the chat. And we are really excited for those of you who decide to join us in this course. And if you want to do that, make sure to do that today or tomorrow so that you get the bonuses. And yeah, we are just very happy that you have been here with us, and for all of your thank yous in the chat. That makes me happy. I will read some of them so that you know that they're there, Michał. We have Tanya writing these. And Doris says, thank you, Michał. Wonderful demo. Terina says, thank you, Michał and Hanna. Ivana, thank you so much. Thanks so much, Michał. True Master, thank you, Michał. Thank you both. Beautiful painting. Thank you, most interesting, great painting.
Thank you very much.
Amazing work, etc., etc., etc. Thank you for those beautiful comments and for spending these 2 hours together. And yeah, they keep coming in, and I hope that you are inspired to continue painting with this inspiration. And I am very impressed by how you, Michał, in basically one layer, just lay the foundation of everything, and then you just added the details. That was very, very interesting to see, very inspiring. Thank you so much, everyone, and we hope to see you again. And have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.
See you.